This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the INTEVO Generation 2, the second INTEVO integration webinar. Last month or so, we relaunched the INTEVO second generation and all the benefits of getting an INTEVO. And this month, we're talking about integration. So if you missed the first webinar, please visit our website. We do have recordings, we do have a bunch of things online. It was more on the specs and deployment and everything. But this month, we want to talk about integration. It is a part sales, part technical, high level, all mixed up, so you guys can all benefit from this. We have a large group. If you guys have any questions, please ask them via the chat portion. I will try to do my best to answer them live or at the end. If you have any questions whatsoever, afterwards you can reach out to your local rep. Robert from YouTube, thank you. Um, and basically, so I'll reach out to your local rep, or you can reach out to myself and my colleagues at Cantech Apps at tycoint.com. That's Cantech APPS at tycoint.com. So let's begin, I guess. So today is about the INTEVO second generation. So the INTEVO, as you guys are aware, is an all-in-one box. It has everything you need from access control to video to intrusion possibilities all together, right? So we have to ask ourselves, do we want three different products? Do we want Cantech, Exact Vision, DSC, or do we want a solution? Buying three different products is all fine and good. Buying a solution is better. Why? Because products can also fall, right? If you buy three different products, they'll get easier to replace by something else. Oops, I wasn't presenting my screen. Just gonna start all over again. Nobody said anything, you're all quiet, right? Can you guys see my screen now? Yes, you guys can. Very good. So, as I was saying, the INTEVO is an all-in-one application. It does give you everything you need from access control to video to intrusion, all into one. Now, the INTEVO, you could buy three different products. You can buy the Cantech software, the Exact Vision NVR, and the DAC hardware if you want, and put them all together or keep them separate as products, right? Why have products when you can have solutions? Because the thing is with products can phase out and actually fall or disappear or be individually chipped away and changed. Do we want to individually chip away and change products? Not particularly, right? Whereas the solution itself can combine and evolve to give you more power, right? Nobody buys a Google Home and then goes buys Alexa's all the adapters. They don't fit together. Or if you go buy a Google Home with Google ready adapters and light switches and so on for home automation, it makes life easy, right? Same thing with this. If you buy the INTEVO and you use the Cantech, DSC, and Exact parts, you can make a solution out of this and integrate them together, right? So what can we do? First off, the INTEVO has an operator dashboard where you can only see and use the appropriate information. Now we'll get to the live part in a few minutes, but I want to show you a bit of the sales stuff here. The benefit of the the operator dashboard is that it's controlled by the system administrator, by the INTEVO administrator, where they get to only see the applications that are supported and installed on the INTEVO. How many of you guys have been on site where the customer had a perfectly fine computer and 3 months down the line, or even a week later, there's spyware everywhere, yes? Now with this, they can't do that. They can't install software anywhere on any of the computers. because once the software is installed by the administrator, they get to see everything. All right. It's a controlled environment where the interface can only show you specific stuff, and you have increased security with a lot less menus. Like I can't start running weird commands or installing Angry Birds or anything else on it, right? Included in the INTEVO. So when you buy an INTEVO, you don't have to go pick an access control software. You don't have to go pick a video platform. You don't have to go pick anything. It comes already included with Entrapass. It's licensed, it's installed, it's registered, and it's ready to go. Okay? What does that mean? The INTEVO does come with Corporate Edition, as you guys are familiar or aware of. It does give you the ability of having 2 remote connections and a web connection, but it comes registered. How many of you guys have been on a job site where the guy gives you have the software and he gives you the fastest 486 computer that he has on the shelf, right? This doesn't come with the case. You don't even have to install the software. It comes ready and even registered for you. You do get Exact Vision Professional. You do have to register that one. That one's a free registration. You simply have to register it to make it a professional version. Once you make it professional, you can take advantage of all the features. Again, the box comes ready with all this. So when you buy the INTEVO Advanced, for example, ADV, so the INTEVO-ADV-4TB, you get everything on the box included, one price, one part, no changes or anything you have to care about. Your SSA is included for 3 years for the entire INTEVO. What does that mean? The INTEVO comes with 3 years of SSA. Now, in the first presentation, we talked about this on SSA and everybody gets it, right? Well, I'm actually repeating this part because all guys came back and had questions. The SSA is very simple. You register the INTEVO online, and that's done for the Exact Vision registration. It's the same registration. You register the INTEVO online by putting the MAC address inside. This will give you a license key. You go to the Exact Vision client and you enter the license key inside. Similar to how you guys are used to Exact Vision, where you put your extra cameras. Well, this when you go online, you get a license key and you basically type it in, right? Or copy paste it, whatever. Once that is done, to share this SSA throughout the whole platform, throughout Exact Vision, Cantic, and the INTEVO, you go and program an exact NVR in Entrapass, which I'll show you how to do in a few minutes. And this will automatically spread the SSA like to the cap and to the entire platform. So sales guys, what do you have to sell? Nothing. You have to give your tech 5 minutes, maybe 15 if they're slow typers, to register the SSA online, to get a code, type it in, and let them program an NVR in Entrapass. What if you're not using an exact server, but you want the SSA? Well, the exact server comes with it. Simply register it. It's completely free, and you get your 3 years of SSA automatically. You don't have to worry about anything. And it gives you the 3 years of cap in the Cantic software. So we wanted you to buy an integrated box, one part number, one SSA, one everything. Now, why solutions, you're asking? Why not just buy 3 different products? Why not just buy X video server, X, Y access control, and Y or Z intrusion panel? You could, but you won't get one interface for all your day-to-day operations. You can have 15 different logins if you want to actually control your day-to-day stuff. Log in to see your events. log into another app to watch the video. So somebody broke in. Now I have to remember that the timestamp was at 12:15. I have to go and grab the video from the video app at this particular time. That's not integration. That's just two different platforms at the same time. You can actually have the software do all that for you. Easier to train, unless you're doing heavy duty and you want the client of the actual exact server and the client of Enterpass. Most of it, in most cases, will be on either the exact client or the Cantech workstation or web. Now, which one would you use? Would I use the web of Cantech or would I use the exact client of Exact? It all depends what your customer does. If your customer is more of a access control office system or environment, like most customers are, stores, pharmacies, offices, warehouses, those are more access control prevalent. Then you can use Cantech for everything. If they use like a casino, for example, where they use heavy video, right? Or a police station, again, very heavy video, those can use Exact Vision as the main client. Very little access, high video. All that part of the INTEVO. It's easy to gather information. It's kind of a unified intelligence system. You basically have everything in one package. You search intelligently for something. When the door is forced open, do you know when the door was broken? Of course not. You just know the door was broken. That's what you care about. You go find that alarm, and everything else will come with it. Your video will come, your date and time and stamp will be there. Everything you need will show up at the right spot with just by looking at an event, for example. It makes your life a lot easier, less time looking through the clutter to get everything. And also plug and play installations and integrations. You can MacGyver, I did write the word MacGyver here, but you can MacGyver pretty much anything you want out there. Why? If somebody went through the hassle of writing integrations for 3, 4 different platforms, for the DAC into Cantech, for Cantech into Exact Vision, and vice versa, or any way around, why go and put something else that is not integrated? Now I gotta put relays and inputs and write custom code where I can use all 3 platforms together and made by the same manufacturer. As you guys are aware, we're not hiding this part. All of this is made by Johnson Controls, right? We're one big company, and we kind of make sure that DAC works with Cantech, and Cantech works with Exact, and vice versa. We don't leave you guys behind. Whereas if you go with 3 different products, you're not really getting much of an integration. As you guys can see here, everything is in your fingertips. So we can have our DAC Power Series Neo connecting to one of our controllers. As you guys may or may not be aware, we can now have with the DAC Neo not only one controller, not only 2, would you believe me if I told you 4 controllers? So 4 controllers, KT400s and KT1s, can be used to arm and disarm alarm panels through the integration with the INTEVO, right? So now we can have 4 KT400s all tied together back to one Neo panel over IP, for example, and now I can arm and disarm multiple doors. We're not tied to one door. Any questions on this so far? You guys like this? You're all jumping for joy. I can see that. Yeah. Also, you could also not need to use an access controller. I can take a DSC Neo over IP and attach it to my INTEVO directly or over IP. One of the benefits of that is now the integration goes into the INTEVO and into the Exact Vision client software. Remember when I was telling you, if you were a casino, for example, and you were using more of a more of a video system, you wouldn't need to use the access control portion. So what you could do is you can have the Neo, one of those sessions, one of those 4 sessions, that's 4 devices, connect to the INTEVO directly, bypassing the access controller and going directly to the exact vision. So now on your exact vision client, you can do various things. And you can use your other 3 remaining sessions to arm and disarm through your KT400, all through your INTEVO. Completely transparent to the customer, and no relay cabling pulling and MacGyvering with relays and timers. It's all digitally done through IP or RS-232 if you really want to. Everything is at your fingertips from Enterprise Go, Enterprise Web, or even the exact client. All right. Some questions are important here, talking about licensing. There's no licensing required. When you buy the INTEVO, you can hook up your DSC. You can do up to 100 DSC per INTEVO. Then you got to buy a license if you need more than 100 DSC. You can do up to, I think we expected for 256 doors on the INTEVO, and 32 or 64 cameras depending on the type of INTEVO you buy. So you can put a lot of cameras, your web's included, your web for your exact vision's included, ready to go for you. So when you buy the INTEVO, if I'm just using a standard average system, we're talking about 10, 20 doors, maybe 30, 40 cameras, you don't need to buy anything extra other than your camera licenses and your hardware, obviously. You don't need to buy web licenses for the web interface. I don't need to buy a DSC module. It all comes directly included in here. So some questions on DSC before we go forward. You can hook up directly to the KT400 if you want access control functionality, and which we'll cover that in a minute. Or you can hook it up directly into the INTEVO if you want to use it through the exact interface. If you want to use it through the Cantic interface, you can hook it up on either a controller or on the INTEVO directly. If you want to use it through the exact interface because you're a casino or you like the exact interface for whatever reason, you hook it up directly on the INTEVO. The integration, depending on the module you buy, the integration for the DAC Power Series Neo can be RS-232 to a controller, or it can be IP to a controller. You have 4 sessions. You can do 1 RS-232 and 3 IP, or you can do 4 IP. Again, depending on the module you buy. The INTEVO, again, we didn't leave your INTEVO alone until you go buy a bunch of adapters. On the INTEVO Advanced, you get 8 PoE camera plugs to plug in your cameras if you want, up to 30 watts per PoE. All right, so let's go look at more stuff before we get to the button pressing and all the demo and everything, right? Hopefully you guys like it so far. It's a lot of questions. If I skip some of your questions, I'll definitely go through them at the end also. So why integrate DSC intrusion with access control? Obviously, it's easy, is to arm and disarm from the card. But what's the benefit? The number one reason people do this is to reduce false alarms. False alarms cost a huge amount of money to your customers. Every time there's a false alarm, the municipality, the city, the HOA, whatever, will send a fee to the owner of the building. So after 3 false alarms, whatever the number is, you get exponentially more expensive alarm fees. How do we reduce false alarm? How do we solve this? Well, Cantic controls the physical door access. So before you even get into the building, once I've integrated my platforms together, I can now intelligently decide if you're allowed getting in, not getting in, and disarming. And logically, if you cannot disarm, we won't even let you in. What's the benefit of that? If you can't disarm, I don't have a keypad code, I can't physically get in. Therefore, it lets me outside, cutting the false alarms and leaving that only the people that are allowed disarming will be able to get in. Kind of an extra layer of security. We've also activated a card and pin feature, which allows us to disarm securely with card plus pin. One of the benefits here is that I can do card only, and then I can enforce card plus pin to disarm. So two-factor authentication purely for disarming. And I can also control who can disarm. So by doing all this, I cut down on all the false alarms. I save the customer huge amounts of information, right? And also I get reports. There's over about 100 events, 100 reports events that I can work with. I can do pop-up, email notifications, video integration. Who would have thought through an access control system that my intrusion event that was meant really for arming and disarming can now be used to be with video? So is it really Clarice disarming the alarm panel, or is it somebody else? Right? I can view that live video. I can view a playback, all that integrated through the Cantic software. So not, and I'm not even talking about access control here, purely video and and DAC. Also, if you're staying home and it's a nice day and you wish to disarm or forgot to arm the alarm panel, it's Friday afternoon, you don't feel like going back to the office to press the pound button to arm, you can arm now and disarm through the Enterprise Web and Enterprise Go. So you can watch securely who did something, and then you can actually arm and disarm if ever needed. Does anybody have any questions before we go on to the software here? All right. I see some questions. We'll get them in a few seconds. They're very nice questions. I like them. So we'll open up. We'll leave the questions for the end. I don't want to disrupt anybody here. So this is the Cantic software you guys get to see on your INTEVO. Again, you can use your Enterprise Web. You can use your Exact Vision, or you can use your client software, the full-blown workstation client. The first thing I told you guys was to register your licenses. Once you've registered your exact license in the exact software, where you go put all your camera licenses, it's going to give you a license key. This license key is emailed to you from Cantic.com, or if you go to Cantic.com, you can get your license for the INTEVO while registering it. Under system, under video, I apologize, under video, and video server, this is where we can register and connect our exact DVR. This is my exact DVR. Now it's very important here, don't put the 127 address. If you put 127.0.0.1, this will work, yes, because that's on the INTEVO. That's the local address where the video server will call itself to actually grab the video. It all works perfectly as long as you're on the same computer as the exact server. So if you don't have a remote connectivity to your INTEVO on the web or anything else, the video will definitely work. It's kind of important to put the IP address of the exact server or the INTEVO itself. So the public or static IP of the INTEVO. From there, you can build your views if you want, and you can build your triggers. I built the trigger that on door first open, I want to trigger my door at the front door, right? So every time there's a front door event, an access event, now I'm thinking my Cantic access control event, and I want to tie it to my events here. I say my door first open from my Cantic event, which is my door. I want to trigger a recording. So I specify a door the schedule, what action, and under the recording parameter, once I save this, it will ask me, all right, so the door forced open trigger you had made, right? I can specify which exact server I want and which camera I wish to put. So now I can specify that every time I have a door forced open on my front door, I want the back camera to record for 20 total seconds, of which 10 seconds are prior to it. All right, so here we can specify the time of the recording. I want to see somebody going up to the door. Again, it's not just playing video and we're done. That's easy. I could have had two screens and get over with it, right? I tell my INTEVO I want to see my access event on my door forced open trigger that I just did, plus I want 20 seconds of video, of which 10 seconds are before. And when I close it, and when I get my door forced open here, so I have my door forced open, I have my start recording by video trigger, and then I have my door forced open stop recording for my recording trigger. If I right click on that event, video event, play, the video exec server comes back online and shows me those 30 seconds of video. I don't know when my door forced open happened. It could have happened 5 minutes ago. It could have happened 2 days ago. I see that my door is forced. It's physically broken in half. So in Enterprise, I don't go look at my time. This could be very long. I can't find it. I can't search by time, right? I could, but it's not practical when you don't know the time. So what you do is you simply say, I want to sort by the event. My door forced open. That's all I know. Somebody broke the door. I can say door forced open, and on start and stop, I can right click, video event, and play. And this will give me the video clip of when this happened. I can fast forward a bit. I could rewind based on time settings. I could also export the JPEG if the JPEG. I can export the AVI in a non-watermarked format, or I can do KVI or PS, different formats that are physically watermarked. Again, I never looked for a particular event. I just looked at my event. I had an event that happened. I didn't search for it. I just looked for the particular event itself, and I saw it. Furthermore, under my door, for example, door forced open, I can view the video and call it instant playback, or just show me the video that's assigned to my camera in real time. Oops, I don't have one. What you could do if you ever wanted to is under devices and doors is to associate a particular video to a particular access control door, for example, to a relay, to an input, to anything we want really. And when that happens, I can show me live video. I see a door here. I know there's a door on my screen right there. I know it's above the door, the office door. I go find the office door and I say, show me that video for that office door. Pretty cool? All right. So as I was saying here, we can also under our desktops here, if I go right click properties, I'm going to uncheck all those square boxes. Under the graphics screen, I can actually put a live video background. And eventually, so it didn't work. There you go. I see my graphic that I built. I see my door, and if I double click, I can perform an action. I don't have. I could right click one-time access. I can enable, disable the door, but I could also see my cameras. If I double click on the camera, I get to see the ESPN channel live. Whatever the camera feed does, I would see this particular part live. Anybody have any questions on this? So that was tying the access control to the video, right? We can see live video, we can see playback, we can do pop-ups, we can do graphic displayment or specific videos. One thing I forgot to mention is, and the most important part, is when you do a playback, you can actually export this if you want. This video clip off the exact server, off the Catholic server. You can make a copy and store it somewhere else. Cool? Any questions, gentlemen? All right. Now, for the DAC integration, it is part of us together. We work together under the DAC integration. We have simplified our life. We can make our integration very straightforward. You get to pick. I'm making new ones so you guys can see what kind of alarm panel you have. Do we support the Maxis? Yes, we do. Do we support the Neo series Neo or the Pro? Yes, we do. Do we support the old Power series? Of course. And again, the Maxis we do. If I get to choose my alarm panel, I pick the one that I want based on the needs of the customer, and I can then do the integration accordingly. The integration is straightforward. Once you integrate with it, like so, you specify which controller we need and what is the IP address, not the IP address, what is the connectivity of this controller. Once you connect to it, all disarming requests will be from this user. Again, what is the purpose of this integration? To reduce false user codes and to remove user codes from having access to the software for no reason, right? To arm and disarm buildings as they see fit, just because they want to leave early or whatever, right? So now because of this, you can specify that all requests will be done on this user, but in the context software, you determine who's allowed disarming and who's allowed arming the alarm panel. Under devices and door, again, we tie everything to the logical component. Devices and door is logically where you would program your integration. And that's because that's what's controlling if you're allowed disarming or arming. When I go to my front door and I go to options and alarm system, I can specify my external alarm system options to specify here on my INTEVO when I can arm my alarm panel. I could say arm it all the time, or arm it by a single axe level or a group of axe levels. You get to choose what this group is and what it includes. You can say you're only allowed this to arm the alarm panel. Everybody else can still get in, but they cannot arm the alarm panel directly. Under disarming requests, one of my favorite is if you're not allowed disarming the alarm panel, you will not be able to get in. Period. No disarming, you can't get in at all. What's the benefit of this? Is if you can disarm the alarm panel and you get in the building, what happens? False alarm, right? Because of all this, you can say, no false alarm, the person couldn't get in. And then we tie it to the particular partition that we wish to integrate with. So who can arm, who can disarm, if any, and the partition is used to arm, which partition will be used to arm. Once you do this, that is integration for now arming and disarming the alarm panel. So that's button pressing. With the integration with the Exact Vision and Cantech and the INTEVO, under the keypad tab, when you say reader or keypad, it's reader or keypad, but the moment the alarm panel is armed. During that setup, the alarm panel will force you to enter your card and your PIN. All right? So you can do both at the same time, but it forces you to do card and PIN. So again, with the INTEVO and the Antropass and the Exact Vision, I can force card on every reader, and then to disarm, if you're allowed disarming, I swipe my card on the reader. I enter my unique code that belongs only to me. So if somebody finds the card on the floor, the card is useless. They can't get in when the alarm panel is disarmed. All right? So all that available from the Entropass software. You can use your Entropass Go, part of your INTEVO, to arm and disarm your system also. All right? Now, if you notice carefully, once I save this, not only under definition and under video and video trigger do I have video server here at the bottom. Sorry, video trigger. I apologize, video trigger. Not only do I have what kind of event do I want, like an access event, but I can also specify, no, I want an intrusion event. So now an intrusion event through Entropass will cause a recording of an event on the site, for example. All right? So we're not only tied to a Cantic access control event, the INTEVO lets us do whatever we want on anything tied to it through Entropass or the exact software. So now I can take my access control, I can take my video, my intrusion, and group them all together to make an entire solution to our customer. Anybody have any questions? So I'm reading the questions now. Are there still a limitation on double swipe just to read into the integration panel? Yes, to arm and disarm, your best bet is to double swipe the alarm panel. Lastly, one is a double swipe that doesn't arm the alarm panel, but also it's only to arm. The disarming, the door doesn't have any other choice but simply to disarm the alarm panel when you want it to. So you swipe the card, you open the door, it disarms. To arm, because there's other actions that can occur, you double swipe to arm. All right. Do we support the Maxis system as well? Of course, we support the DSC Maxis, the Power Series, and the Neo panel, but we also support the new Power Series Pro alarm systems also. Okay. Uh, does any Rex or readers or doors? The double swipe can be the alarm integration with an INTEVO can be hooked up to 16 doors. That's 4 KT400s without tying it to DSC. So it's really 4 integrations that you put in the Cantic software. It doesn't matter if it's coming from one controller or many. It is as 4. You get a bit of duplicates, but you're gonna get all the info you need out of it. The last question, Larry. Does the INTEVO come with any doors by itself? The INTEVO itself doesn't come with any doors. You'd have to purchase an expansion kit, which is a controller with a cabinet and readers. If you don't want the cabinet, you can do it via card and yeah, get it. All right. You stated that the INTEVO Advance can have up to 8 cameras connected to it directly. The INTEVO Advance has 8 PoE ports and 2 gigabyte ports. The 4 Ethernet ports are mostly for Cantic access controllers, and the bottom ones are for cameras themselves. Because the Cantic controllers, we realized people were plugging into the USB the wrong order, which was causing, not good. So this is why we say put the PoE on the KT400, or the KT1, I apologize, or put your own power supply for it. But again, you could add more PoE switches and power supplies to make everything much easier to work with. All right, Max talk about. It has a DAC keypad. The DAC keypad, if you want to use a virtual keypad, it only works on the workstation and on the web. There's no DAC Maxis or DAC keypad for the Neo panel yet. All right. Does the INTEVO support SNMP? The INTEVO does support SMTP for video emails to notifications, but it also has a built-in web server that was verified on PowerUp the next the next version of Enterpass if available. It will not download it for you, but it will give you the ability to tell you that it's available. All right. What if the network is isolated from the network? The customer will not allow the unit to leave the site for access control. That's his choice. If you want to have everything on the same network, you can put the INTEVO on the same network out of an internet or Ethernet, and then you have to physically go on the INTEVO or somehow remote into it for major changes. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever? Did you guys like this? All right. Hope to see you guys next time. If you have any questions, please email us at canticapps@tycoint.com. That's canticapps@tycoint.com. Thank you. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.